this is my solo flawless run through for Harbinger week 1. So the final boss is Akorith, which is a knight. So he spits out fire at you, he spits out the blinding blight, he's got a void cannon. But this is actually one of the easier weeks to do this on. So this is why I'm getting this out now, because you've still got a day to do this before the new season starts. So I might not talk through much of this, but what I'm taking in with me is a scout rifle in each energy type. So I've got arc, void, and ignore this where I kind of get lost, but pretend this didn't happen. So arc, void, and solar. I'm using a blinding grenade launcher. To be honest, I'm not using it that much. I'm mainly using it to be able to put breach and clear onto bosses, and I'm using xenophage. There's in the final boss room in particular, there's 2 solar shielded enemies that I want to get down quickly, and xenophage can obviously do that quickly and from a distance as well, crucially, so you can stay safe. This is very much the, as ever, the kind of passive stay at the back, risk yourself as little as possible, no Ramboing version that I prefer to play. So first bit here is the jump, which this is probably where I died the most, because, well, I suppose normally because if I'm going for a flawless run, then I'm quitting and going back to orbit again. But instead of trying to jump to the little ledge, if you try and jump to the pipe just above the ledge, that's got the kind of the mossy outgrowth that's in the 2 kind of big bits where you're climbing up, and if you can hit that, you'll stick. Whereas if you hit the ledge below with even a tiny sideways bit of movement, you will just go off. So I find it easier to jump to the area just above the pipe, or just below the pipe, and jump down or move down from there. Right, so I prefer to go into the kind of the pipe that leads in from this side, so I can see where I'm jumping to beforehand. And I am starting off here with my void scout rifle. The first enemy that you'll be fighting here is void. So if you don't go too far in and she's at kind of right angle, you can try and get her shield off here and then hit her with your xenophage before you I've got to go in here a little bit, but you can usually get her down, or sometimes get her down, just without any of the ads spawning. I'm lucky here because she decides to show up again, so all I've got to do is you've got to take her down to about half health. There you go, and just a little explosion from the matching energy type. Broke the shield now. The next thing is I always have the barrier champion mod on, because it's useful, even though I don't think there are any barrier champions in here, being able to shoot through these shields and shoot through the Taken phalanx shields as well is really useful. But these Taken snipers, the Vandal snipers, will put up a barrier, and that's actually a useful thing, because once they put up the barrier, they're not shooting out, so they're completely passive, but you can still kill them. So that is one of my bits of advice. So here I go. I've done the void, so done the wizard. I'm now moving on to the next, which is a Centurion with you can see each time you kill, I think it does, you'll kill one of the, or force one of the emissaries out of this main hallway. I think it spawns another lot of snipers. Not 100% sure because I haven't, but you can kind of hear them spawning in. Notice also there's numbers on the walls there. You can see 3 now. I will post in the description. I'll post a link to the map where the emissaries teleport to after you force them out of this first corridor, which you'll see I kind of pause and use before I go in. So again, I'm trying to stay back so that the wrong weapon, John. So again, just get him down to half health, and there we go. That will cause all of the adds that spawn in with the emissary to despawn again. Yeah, I think that was a sniper that spawned in above me. So the last emissary is Solar, a knight. Taken knight. You can take it just down with Xenophage, to be quite honest, because obviously Xenophage will both break the shield and do damage. But just in case, I use the blue Mananan scout rifle because it's the only solar scout rifle that has explosive rounds, which is quite handy for throwing enemies off their shots. So I'm just creeping forward here, again trying to get the emissary before the adds spawn in. So I'm trying to get, there we go, just trying to get an angle on it before the rest of the adds spawn in. And I think that's it. So that's it, that's end of the first section. So the order that you should be killing these in, and I say that when you go in to finish them off, is Centurion, and then Knight, and finally Wizard. And the reason for that will become obvious when we get into the survive room. So because I want to kill the Centurion first, I will change back here to my, I'm just checking for snipers, I'm sure there's still a few around, but I will be changing first of all to my Arc scout rifle, do a little ammo run, although I'm not killing many adds here, I'm focusing on the boss, so there's not much by way of ammo dropping. Hopefully I get a little bit from killing the adds in the emissary rooms. So this is me checking the map to find out. So you see the numbers on the sides of the walls. That's how you kind of orientate yourself. So do that and you can see that most of the gates that go in any given week are between sectors 2 and 4, kind of either on the ground floor or one floor up. So you can see I'm at 0, so quick look at the map means that I am heading on the right hand side. I know it's ground floor right hand side this week. Just say I've also got Taken spec on all of my scout rifles. The only enemies you get to see, oh that's another thing, that when enemies die they spawn a kind of the Taken boop where they die. So if you walk over that you can take some damage and get shot up into the air. So just be aware of that. So this is, again, be careful, don't be too aggressive because there's still adds in here, they will still hurt because they're still high level. As you can see here, I've got caught on something on the stairs there, so I couldn't go back. There we go. Right, now I've got some ammo. Now I don't normally necessarily finish them all off, but I think quite a lot of heavy bricks fall in this, and because I won't be coming back to this room again, or not planning to, then I'll pick up the heavy bricks. And this is what I normally do as well, is so I don't forget before I go into the next room. Once I've got the champion, or not the champion, the emissary down, I will then change my scout rifle to the element that I'm going to be needing in the next room. So that will be the knight, in which case that will need to be solar. Although having said that, I could have, I think probably sticking to void actually works to start off with, because there is, with the knight, none of the emissaries have it, but the knight spawns a wizard with a void shield as well. Now you can either try and take that down if you're running like I am. If you're running the top tree void warlock, then this is where I forget that in fact, oh no, sorry. Yes, I think this is where I check the map and realise that to get to the next boss you can actually run out of the other side of the emissary room here, and that takes you directly opposite the next Taken door. So yeah, as you can see, I missed these earlier, and they can hurt, so... Alright, so according to the map, this is where the knight is. And this is where I remember that there's a wizard in here. Not a perfectly placed grenade, but it's good enough. Right, now there are also a lot of void shielded acolytes in here as well. So if your grenades come back, you can do it with that. I decide to just go overkill. Right, so the last emissary to get is the void shielded wizard. So again, this is me just checking the map. Realising I've gone the wrong way. You notice I'm kind of not jumping because I've missed a couple of jumps in some earlier runs, so I'm walking nice and calmly round to each door. Yeah, just be aware it's quite a long corridor to retreat down if you have to without cover, so try and stay reasonably close to the door at the back if you can. Otherwise, you know, use your rift. Or again with me, I used little blinding grenades just to help out. Right, I think that's that room cleared out. So with full xenophage, I'm now heading into the survive room. And I know the first enemy I'm going to be fighting in the survive room is going to have arc shields, because that's the order I killed them in. So the order that you kill the emissaries in is the order that the enemies will spawn in the survive room. Right, so when you go into the survive room, there are two places that you can set up that are reasonably safe. On the right, behind this kind of pipe, and on the left, which is where I prefer to stand, kind of behind a whole load of boxes. There's an out of bounds that's just behind you there, and I think that confuses the pathing for some of the enemies. Plus, it's pretty close to where the Centurion first spawns in, so it's convenient for that. Now, the reason you want to do the emissaries in the order that we've done them is, with the Centurions here, you'll see lots of snipers that spawn in as well. Once you've killed the two special enemies, so in this case it's the Centurions, no more adds will spawn. So it just means once you get the two Centurions down, there's no more snipers, and in subsequent rounds you get one and then two unstoppable champions. So my thinking is that you don't really want snipers and unstoppable champions if you can avoid it. So you do it, they have the snipers down when it's the easiest bosses to kill. These are red bars, the second round are orange bars, and then the final round are yellow bars. So here you can just control the angle and try and kill the remaining snipers, knowing that no more are going to be coming in. I've already just swapped to a solar scout because I know that the next enemy is going to be a solar shield. And I'm going to gradually work my way around to the other side, because the knights, when they spawn kind of roughly in where I'm shooting now at this sniper that's fallen off the little box there, and the other one round by where I was shooting before, where the The other kind of safe area is to stand, or safer area anyway. So there's one more sniper to get and they'll fall off. Yeah, generally if you hit them they'll fall off. Yes, what I didn't notice there was I don't have unstoppable grenade launcher on. So I am really lucky with this run in that the unstoppable champion kind of gets stuck. But you can see now the next lot is spawning in. This is where the first of the champions, not champions, but the bosses, mini bosses spawn in. So I've got one down there now. I'm now going to run around to the... Oh, going to run the other way. To my little safe zone. While I say it's safe zone, it's safer. It's not completely safe. There are still stuff that will come in here quite happily. This is where I decide that this is discretion's a better part of valor here. You can see that. That goblin did follow me, and now I've got the other champion there now. Not champion, the other mini-boss. So I'm waiting until I can see if I can get a shot unshielded. Or if not, get rid of the goblin shielding and then finish him off. So that's both of the orange bars dead. I know there's no more goblins, and the last round is, as I say, it's 2 champions, 2 unstoppable champions, 2 yellow bar wizards, and a whole load of thrall. But we make it the easiest round of all because we can do it all from one of the platforms that kind of you can see just at the top there. Jump onto one of the platforms. The thralls can't follow you up there, so you are completely safe from the kind of the melee attack. So you can basically just set up base on there, get rid of the yellow bar mini bosses, get rid of the champions, and you're good to go. So this is where I discover that I've been really lucky, as I say, otherwise this would have followed me round to the other side. This is also where I realise I haven't got breach and clear on. Oh no, not breach and I haven't got the unstoppable grenade launcher on. So rather than use lots of ammo, I'm gonna, because he's standing still. So combination of controverse hold and the void grenades means I will get because he's standing still, he'll take damage all the time, and will mean that my grenade energy will be up as the grenade finishes. There you go. So combination of that and breach and clear means I get him down pretty quickly with just the grenades and the grenade launcher. So this is where you can set up camp. It's again not completely safe. There's a few kind of little gaps between the in the floor there where if someone's angled correctly they can still shoot up. So there we go. So just from your little snipey perch you can take them down, say very safely. You're really at very little danger apart from anything shooting through that little hole there. Probably on any other week I'd be using Anarchy and getting my breach and clear on that. Who knows what it's going to be in the new season, but I'm specifically keeping my Xenophage on because I want it for the boss room, and you never know how much, you know, heavy ammo is going to drop in here, so I don't want to get to the boss room and find I've got no heavy. So, doing the same thing as I did with the boss earlier, this champion stands obligingly still. Yeah, if they were standing next to each other and I could get them both stunned at the same time, I'd be using my super. But for now, grenade will do. Right, the other one's a little awkwardly positioned, so I'm going to try and draw him out. There we go. So that'll bring him out towards the centre. And you've probably got more platform to work with from the other side, I think anyway. So back to the other side, finish him off. Now, unfortunately, not quite as obliging as the other one. Moves around a bit for my liking. So all you have left to finish off now are some Thrall, who are surprisingly unaggressive. So you can see them there behind the pillar on the left, and it was just underneath me was the other location. But they basically come to the edge of this middle platform. I was trying to bait them in so I could just drop a grenade at my feet there. But they are really quite passive until you start firing at them. But even then, they back off really quickly. I must admit, I'm being very safe here. I could probably just run in. There's many left there. I must admit, I was kind of hoping there would be more around that corner there, but it was just the one. we go, last straggler. So that is the survive room complete. I don't think I dropped any heavy ammo in here. So you see, if I'd been on Anarchy and then swapped Xenophage here, I would have been going in with quite a lot less ammo. I did check to see whether you can get back, because I know I left some heavy in that Centurion room before, so to see whether you could get back out, but you can't. So that's the end of the survive bit. So I'm not going to do the jumping section. Going to assume that again there's the map that's supplied, which also shows the route through the caves, which changes week by week. And here we are. This is just outside the boss room. So I have swapped out some mods on my armor, because obviously I'm now not facing any champions anymore. So there's no point in having the unstoppable champion mod on my arms anymore. But I'll go through the final set of mods when the video's finished. So here I'm just sitting here waiting for my super to fully charge. I used the super on the unstoppable champion outside because I wanted to be safe. No point in making it all that way just to get booped off the ledge and fall to your death. But what you will find now in this boss room, say there is that central knight who has a void cannon, will spit fire at you and also throw the blinding blights at you. And you'll have the usual, you've got a left and a right hand side up on some rocks, each of which has a solar shielded mini boss. Now you will get things spawning in, you'll get continuous ad spawns until on that side of the room until the mini boss is dead. So that's initially what I'm aiming to do. Is I'm watching for the mini boss with Xenophage, trying to get the boss down as quickly as possible and then clearing that side, and that means that I know the other side is clear. I will try and leave one up, maybe two up if I missed one, but I won't want to kill them all, because that lets you then do a quick ammo run, kill the last ad, and then the boss will then spawn in for another damage phase. So here we go, in on the boss. So breach and clear, grenade, super, and back to the entrance, and that should be his first damage phase done. So the ads are spawning in on the right there, so I'm now watching for, that wasn't the solar shielded, it's really obvious it's purple John. So I think the purple shielded, the solar shielded mini boss is there being shielded at the moment by Goblin. Clear that, try and get him down, but unfortunately I don't think I quite know. He escapes to the back, which is a shame. You know, ideally you want to try and get that down first time, unlike me. So if you can control your recoil better than I can, then do that. Now, staying on the left-hand side means that nothing that spawns in on the left-hand side can hit you. So literally the only things that can hit you, in fact there's nothing that can hit you at this range from this side. You're out of range of the acolytes, you're out of range of the acolyte eyes, you're out of range of whatever weapon, because I don't actually know what weapon the orange bar mini boss has got. So this is now just a waiting game. It's patience. You know, you don't need to be taking out the eyes and the acolytes, because to be quite honest, they will just spawn in again until you kill that mini boss. So I could have just put up a deck chair and just wait for the mini boss to turn up again. And that's him there. So hopefully, there we go. I know, because I can see I've got 13 glimmer for that, so I know that he's dead. So we can now clean up a little bit more on that side. Again, I've kept my void scout on because all the acolytes in here are void shielded, so you'll need something that will be able to deal with them. So So there's always an acolyte that spawns at the top here, and you are in range of both the acolyte and those acolyte eyes. So I'm now looking for the orange bar on the left hand side. He's usually up on that ledge. I suspect that's what's being shielded, the goblin. There you go, it's what it was, what the goblin was shielding. So I think I've got a shot at him now, so there we go. I can see I've got glimmer for that, so I know he's dead on the left hand side as well. So again, I can start to winnow the ads down a bit. All done in relative safety from, say, the point at which you enter the boss arena. Now you will be able to see, obviously you can see here, you'll be able to see if there's either a goblin or an acolyte up, because the goblins will be trying to shield whatever they're around, and the acolytes will spawn the acolyte eyes, 2 acolyte eyes at a time. So if you can see any acolyte eyes spawning, I can see some behind the rock there, so I know there's at least one more acolyte behind the rock there. Must admit, I thought I'd killed more of the ones on the right hand side, but there's an acolyte that stands quite close to the wall on the right hand side, so it's a little bit difficult. You can't actually get an angle on that acolyte. Yes, that acolyte annoyed me a bit because it was very good at hiding. But you can see, super is fully recharged, taking my time. That has the advantage of recharging the super. So the second damage phase against the boss is a little longer than the first, so it's not a clean 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. The benefit of that is that the last damage phase is really quite short. Again, just having a quick look around to see what's up there. You can see an acolyte eye on either side, so I think there's one acolyte left on each side. Okay, ammo run. I come to this side primarily because it's an easier side to get an angle on that final. Yeah, just checking there's nothing else, but easier to get a final acolyte, get an angle on the final acolyte. So yeah, no more heavy for me. So take him down, and then second boss damage phase, so identical to the first. I'm looking to put Preach and Clear on, grenade and super. Missed the grenade by miles, but again I'm back out to starting area. A little tougher this because you've got the boss will stay out in the middle there and will be continually firing fire at you and be shielded by goblins. So the goblins will actively migrate into the middle there to shield the boss. Now I do have plenty of Xenophage here, so to be quite honest, I probably could have foreshortened this a bit by taking him out with Xenophage. But I think initially, at least, I was trying to take down goblins and then whittle him down with a scout rifle. Yeah, one of the things I did do when I was waiting for my super to generate was swap my chest piece. So my chest piece has now got solar resist. Earlier on I had arc resist because most of the damage you come in up against here is arc, but specifically for that fire attack that the boss has, I've taken concussive dampener and solar resist for this last bit because it's too easy just to die in seconds with this with the kind of the napalm on the floor. Right, so final ad phase. So looking for the solar shielded mini bosses. Just to give me a second or two now, I can see where the boss is because obviously there's fire where he's trying to spit fire at me. But also so my theory here was that if I was just stunning the goblins just for a second or two, then they wouldn't be shielding the boss. There we go. Watch for the glimmer. I know he's down, so I know there's no more ads spawning in on the left now, so whittle those down, particularly the one, the acolyte closest to me there on the left. So I think, like all of the Harbingers, the main danger really at this point is just getting frustrated if the mini bosses aren't showing themselves. Is just that temptation just to run out and see if you can get them to shift position, and just getting, if there's acolyte eyes nearby and goblins and acolytes themselves, then they can just mob you and kill you in seconds. So taking a lot of time here. Right, that's the mini boss on the left hand side. Yep, got him down. Oh, sorry, on the right hand side there. So same as before, I'm just getting rid of all the ads on each side, and then there's a final damage phase with the boss, which one breach and clear, the grenade and the super will take him down in a single hit. Yeah, there's an acolyte hiding on the right behind that large piece of rock. Very annoying. But again, I'm taking no chances here, so I'm just going to wait, see if I can encourage him to wander out one side or the other. There you go. Patience finally rewarded, so I'll now go up the right hand side like before. Mini ammo run just to get some primarily. Well, I did notice I had some heavy over there, so that's it. So I think I've just got one, maybe two acolytes on the left hand side there now. There you go. Like I say, as before, breach and clear, grenade, super, and we're done. So I hope I've got this out in time for some of you to be able to try this yourselves. You've got tonight, if you've got tomorrow before reset, still got a bit of time. You never know, this still could be, if once you hit the level cap, then this should be relatively straightforward. You won't be under light. So probably the tactics will still be will still work for next season, even if we don't have breach and clear anymore. There is probably going to be another way of getting additional damage on bosses. Right, just going quickly through, so I kept that ignition code on. I went between the Royal Chase, the Eternal Blazon, and the Madrigrudra and Xenophage. Breach and clear, machine gun scavengers. As I say, I swapped out between these two, but they have similar solar or arc damage resist. Again, I swapped out, Controverse Hold, I swapped out the Overload champion, sorry, the Unstoppable Champion mod, and then I've got the ammo finders on the helmet. So I hope this gets you all clear. Good luck.